Hello YouTube. On my travels today I came across this nice Sony SLV-SE220 video recorder. Now I haven't bought any of these for quite some time as people have lost favour with videos, but as it was such a nice looking piece of equipment I thought I'd buy it and service her up and get it on eBay. They are doing round about £30 to £40, so even with the service kit there is still money to be made out of this. It's very nice, else I would have left it where it was, to be fair. As you can see, it's nice and tidy, hardly any scratches to the casing. So I'm going to spin the lid off it and show you inside and explain some of the working parts. Okay, with the top removed we can clearly see the loading motor, which takes the cassette into the machine in the first place and also is responsible for lacing up the tape during playback. We have the pinch roller here, we have the capstan, we have the sound head there, which is also got the tracking head housed on that. We have an erase header here. We've got our tape guides just here, which during playback will lace up around the head. We have the lighthouse in the centre, which is responsible for the tape end sensing. There's a sensor on each side of the carriage, and on your cassette tapes you've got a clear section at both the start and the end of the tape. When it reaches that point of the tape, the beam will shine through and hit one of the sensors, whichever way it is, and stops the deck and applies the brakes. The brakes are here, there's one on each spool, and also we have a tension band there for keeping attention on the cassette tape during playback, which goes onto this arm here. We've got the idler assembly here, which engages with each take-up spool depending on direction of travel. During playback it will be engaged into this one, and during rewind it will be engaged into this one. And that's about it really, I think. I will now take the deck out and show you the bottom side of it, and also the circuit board that controls it all. Over this side, incidentally, on the left is your power supply, which is part of the main board. I just thought I'd show you what the actual video head looks like. You've got your drum, your aluminium drum there that is spinning round during playback with the cassette tape wrapped around it, and the actual heads themselves are there in those little recesses. You've got one side of the drum and one on the other side of the drum, and that's it. That's what actually reads the video signal and lays down the video signal during recording. As you can see, they're quite delicate little things that would be quite easily damaged if you weren't careful. Well, there you go, I thought I'd just show you that. With the deck removed we can now see the full board with the power supply over to the left hand side, and the rest of the circuitry is responsible for video processing, etc. Now in the centre we've got the lighthouse, which is an LED transmitter that sends a beam across to each one of these sensors for the end sensing on the tape, which, as I said before, is just a clear section of tape at the start and the finish of the video cassette. Just down here we have what we call the mode switch. Now this links up to the deck and rotates depending upon what mode the deck is in, and reports back to the processor that it's in the correct position, etc. Now, just here we've got a couple more of infrared senders and detectors, and these are responsible for reporting back to the processor whether the spools are turning or not. There's a series of slots in each spool that, as it's going past, the detector will shine through them, and if it's not getting a signal, it knows that that spool isn't turning, so it would immediately shut down the deck, basically, to protect the tape from damage. And that's about it really, as far as detectors and switches go on the actual board itself. So I'll get the deck now and we'll have a look at the bottom of the deck. So looking at the deck from underneath, we've got the capstan motor here and a drive belt driving the idler assembly for the transportation of the tape, whether it be in play mode, fast forward or rewind. And then we've got a series of gears here. These are responsible for the loading of the cassette in the first place, and also it controls this bar which applies the brakes and also controls the tape tension arm. And then just here we've got the gears that are responsible for the lacing up of the tape during playback, where they will draw the tape around the playback head. This plug is for the power for the capstan motor. This plug here is the plug for connecting the playback heads, video heads rather, to the board, and this one here connects the erase head to the board. And after that really there's not a lot else I can tell you. What I will do now, I will reassemble it and I'll disable the end sensing so that we can see the cassette actually playing. If I don't disable the end sensing, then the light will just trigger the end sensing and it will just not play. So we'll have a look at that in a second. Okay, so let's pop the tape in. There we go. As you can see, it's laced up round the video head and the head's spinning away quite nicely there. And basically that's it in operation. I'll just eject it so you can see that the come back. Well, that's it. Well, that's all I can tell you about it really. I shall now proceed to give it a service and then get it onto eBay and hopefully get a bit of profit out of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.